This video is going over how to do the practice Pythagorean Theorem problems. So our first question is, we are going to create a triangle from 2 points that are provided from you using the Pythagorean Theorem to solve for the hypotenuse. So if you recall, I need to connect these two dots with a straight line. So now, the second thing I need to do is I need to create a triangle. You can do it one of two ways. You can go up and over, or you can go over and up, whichever way you prefer. So now that I've created my triangle, I'm going to count the length of this first leg and the second leg here. And I'm counting the squares of how long it is, which happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This other one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I know my Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I don't know necessarily what my hypotenuse or my c is, so I know that my a is 6, my b is 7, and I don't know what my c is, so I'm going to leave it as is. If you recall, 6 squared is like 6 times 6, which is 36. Same thing with this one. 7 times 7 is 49. The second to last step I need to do is add those two together. So 36 plus 9 is 85. And the opposite of a number squared is a square root. So what I need to do is draw my square root sign. I'm going to square both numbers because I need to do to one side what I need to do to the other. So I know that this is not a perfect squared, so on the test it is completely fine to leave it like this. If you want to go the extra mile, it is going to be 9.21. So this length is about 9.21, or the square root of 85. Okay, if you're going to leave it like this, make sure that you write c equals the square root of whatever number. So that way on your test I can see exactly what you know. So moving on to the second one, it says use the Pythagorean theorem to determine if the right triangle is a right triangle and show my work. So basically this means I need to prove that these two legs, the amount, equals this hypotenuse. If it does, then we can use then it's a right triangle. If it does not, it means it's not a right triangle. So what you need to do is you need to know which one's A, which one's B, which one is C. So in this case, these are both my legs, so I know that they can be A and or B. So I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, I basically took my two legs, I'm going to add them together and see if I can get the hypotenuse. 2 squared is 4, 5 squared is 25, 7 squared is 49. If I add those two together, I get 29 equals 49. Now, does 29 equal 49? Are those the two same numbers? No, they are not. So, I know that this is not a right triangle. Because 29 does not equal 49. On the test, I want to see all of this work and that it is or is not a right triangle. If it is, then it would just be 29 equals 29, or 49 equals 49. Okay, the next problem is going to be right here. It says create a triangle from the 2 points provided for you use the Pythagorean Theorem to solve for the hypotenuse. So on the quiz, you'll get 2 points and have to draw the line, or the line will be drawn for you. So in this case, I'm going to draw my triangle. I'm going to count my legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. I know that 4 is my A, B is my 3, and I don't quite know what my C is. So I'm going to figure out 4 squared is 16, 3 squared is 9. I'm going to add them two together. 9 plus 16 will give me 25 equals C squared. And my last step is to take the square root of both of the sides. So I'm going to square root both of them. And I know that 25 is a perfect squared, so C equals 5. So now I can label it 5. If at any point you are stuck or need help, do pause the video so that way you can review. Alright, so for the next page it says, for this part of the practice, use the Pythagorean Theorem to find the missing angles from each of the triangles. Sometimes you might have to find C, A, or B, depending on the triangle. So in this case, I know that I'm missing my long side, my hypotenuse, so that means I am missing C. So that means I'm going to write at the top of my page, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That way I know what the formula is. So I know that my A is 3 squared plus my other leg, which is 10 squared, equals my C squared. So I don't know what C is. 3 squared is 9, and 10 squared is 100. 100 plus 9 is going to be 109. And my last step is going to square root both sides. The reason why is because I'm trying to get C by itself. So the opposite would be a square root. So my C equals the square root of 109. Or, if you want to be technical, if you know the trick, you can definitely use that as well. I will accept either answer. So the square root of 109 is going to be approximately 10.44. Okay. My next triangle, I have my C, I have one of my legs, I am missing my other leg, which is going to be B. So I'm going to take 6 squared plus B squared equals 24 squared. In this case, you might be confused why it has an X. Do not worry, on the test, it will have a question mark, or it'll have the letter itself. Okay? So, 6 squared is 36 plus B squared equals, it's going to equal 576. The next step I need to do is subtract 36 from both sides, and that is going to give me 540. Got it. All that's left to do is take the square root of both sides, and since that is not a perfect squared, all I'm going to do is leave it as is. So B is going to equal the square root of 540, or if you technically know what the square root of 540 is, it is going to be approximately 23.23, just to give you a comparison. I will be resuming with the rest of the questions in the next video. So hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, please do come see me, or look on the website as well for other things to help you with.